Today, we are lifting the veil on the Kremlin's most closely guarded secret. Where is Russian President Vladimir Putin? Hiding at this very moment. How many underground cities does he really have? And most importantly, is it true that under just one mountain in the Urals, there is a bunker capable of holding 300,000 people, where you can live autonomously for half a year while concrete melts on the surface? Friends, before we descend 300 meters underground, I have a question for you. Drop a comment in the section below right now and tell us what you think. Is this entire bunker setup a genuine, real fear for his own skin, or is it simply a case of paranoia taken to the absolute extreme? And don't forget to subscribe to the channel here if it's your first time. Here, we regularly discuss things that the official media prefer not to mention. So, the nickname Bunker Grandpa stuck to Putin during the global coronavirus pandemic. Remember those endless 5-meter-long tables where he would meet with world leaders? Macron, Scholz, they all sat at what seemed like a kilometer's distance. French President Emmanuel Macron would later state directly it was during that harsh isolation within underground walls that Putin, apparently, finally lost touch with reality. It was there that the plan to start the largest war in Europe since World War II was conceived. In fact, the network of nuclear shelters in Russia began to be built back in the 1940s. Imagine April of 1941. There were only a few weeks left before Germany attacked the USSR. Stalin gave a secret order to Metrostroy to urgently build 2 bunkers directly under the Kremlin. Because of the war, the deadlines were pushed back, but the project was completed. This led to the creation of the so-called Object 25. But the real bunker boom began in the 1950s when the USSR successfully tested its own nuclear bomb. And this is where the scale truly begins to feel frightening. According to investigators, there are currently at least 2 colossal facilities beneath Moscow. Bunker number 1 is located directly under the Kremlin. The depth, attention, from 200 to 300 meters. To give you an idea of the scale, that's the height of a massive skyscraper, only going downward. It is carved entirely out of solid granite. It's an underground city, and it can comfortably accommodate up to 10,000 people. But that's not all. There's also Bunker 2. It's hidden beneath the Moscow State University building on Vorobyovy Gory. And do you know what's most interesting about it? They are linked together by a secret metro line, the frequently referred to as Metro 2. Moreover, this underground railway travels all the way from Vnukovo Airport to the official suburban residence in Novo Ogaryovo. So, in case of a threat, evacuation takes minutes. Is this Putin's Dhaka? Putin's Dhaka is further toward Kodinka, and will they let you inside to have a look? Probably not into the Dhaka itself. No, right? It's probably guarded. Does he himself ever go there? Yes. Often? Not that often, but he does go. But Moscow is just an intermediate stop. If a full-scale global military conflict starts, the wealthy and powerful elite will immediately seek refuge in the Urals. And here we come to the absolutely most terrifying and mysterious point of our program. In that same CIA report, 2 sites are mentioned. The first is Kosvinsky Kamen in the northern Urals. This is a strategic command post, essentially an automated brain for launching a retaliatory nuclear strike. And the second site is Mount Yamantau in the southern Urals. Guys, this is just truly incredible. Journalists from Novaya Izvestia found out that the Yamantau complex is a gigantic vertical shaft. From it, at various depths, huge corridors branch out, each 30 meters in diameter. The entire combined length of these underground tunnels is approximately 500 kilometers. That's actually even longer than the total distance covered by the Moscow metro above ground. In normal operation, this bunker is designed for 60,000 people, but in a critical situation, up to 300,000 can be crammed in. 6 months of complete autonomy, its own water filtration, air regeneration, and food storage facilities. And guess who personally oversaw the completion of this engineering marvel in the early 2000s? That's right, Vladimir Putin himself. But old Soviet bunkers, while certainly reliable, aren't exactly fit for a Tsar. Putin wouldn't be himself if he hadn't built himself personal underground luxury apartments. Remember the famous palace in Gelendzhik on Cape Idokopas? The very one with the famous aqua disco and the mudroom. Well, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Business Insider actually obtained and published the official architectural blueprints of what's hidden beneath this massive palace. There are two huge reinforced tunnels dug out deep underground there. One is 40 meters long, while the other one is 60 meters in length. Each is 6 meters wide. All of this is completely encased and protected in a 40-centimeter layer of pure blast-resistant concrete mix. The tunnels are equipped with their own ventilation, highly advanced and powerful sewage systems, and cable routes. And the life support systems there are specifically engineered and designed to withstand not just a nuclear blast, but also a sustained and prolonged chemical or biological attack. Experts who have studied these blueprints all say the same thing. This is not just a shelter, it's a clinical obsession with survival. The man is mortally afraid of dying. And while he tells Russians about heavenly paradises, in the event of a nuclear war, he himself plans to wait it out in a 5-star underground hotel. But do you know what the main irony of this whole story is? History remembers many famous dictators like Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein. They all also constructed their own incredible, impregnable bunkers. Billions of dollars, meters of concrete, the best engineers. But did even a single underground tunnel actually save them? When it was time to pay the price? The question being asked here is actually quite rhetorical in nature. So folks, write what you think. Are you impressed by the scale of the underground empire? Which of these facts surprises you the most? The secret tunnels in Gelendzhik or the massive 500-kilometer tunnels hidden under Mount Yamantau? Be sure to like this video, share it with all your friends, let the algorithms push it as high as possible, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our new investigations. This was me, Evgeny Serov. This is the Glavred channel. See you. The reputable international agency Reuters, citing its own sources in the oil industry, has published sensational and shocking figures for the Kremlin. In recent days, as a result of systematic and highly precise strikes by Ukrainian drones in the central and western parts of Russia, almost all key oil refineries have either shut down or critically reduced production. We're talking about industrial giants in Kirishi, Moscow, Nizhny Novgorod, Ryazan, and Yaroslavl. The combined capacity of the enterprises that have been knocked out exceeds 83 million tons of oil per year. This is a quarter of all oil refining in Russia and more than 30% of all automobile gasoline production in the country. How did Ukrainian long-range aviation bring Russia to a fuel shortage? Why will repairing just one plant cost Putin $5 billion? And what does this threaten for Russia's budget? You'll find more details in our report. You're watching the Glavred channel. I'm your host Evgeny Serov. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Let's go through this list of sanctions from the Ukrainian armed forces as reported by Reuters. The scale of the damage is truly unique. The Kirishi oil refinery is the second largest plant in all of Russia. Sources confirm that after strikes in early May on 3 primary oil processing units and storage tanks, it has been completely shut down since May 5th. The Ryazan oil refinery accounted for 5% of Russia's oil processing and supplied fuel to the occupying forces. After a powerful attack on May 15th and the destruction of the AVT 3, 4, and AT6 units, the plant completely ceased operations. The Moscow oil refinery, the main fuel hub of Russia's capital, also halted processing after precise strikes. The Nizhny Novgorod North Sea oil refinery has a capacity of 17 million tons. A recent significant strike on May 20th disabled the key LOU AVT unit. At this point, it is unknown whether the facility can maintain even partial operations. The Yaroslavl oil refinery and the Yaroslavl 3 oil pumping station also came under heavy fire. In total, this means a loss of 238,000 tons of oil refining per day. The Russian Federation, the third largest crude oil producer in the world, has now lost approximately a quarter of its refining capacity due to its own ineffective air defense systems. Now let's talk about money and consequences. Oil and gas taxes provide about a quarter of Russia's entire federal budget, which Putin uses to finance the war against Ukraine. Strikes on oil refineries automatically impact oil production. There is simply nowhere to process it, and selling crude oil in such volumes under sanctions is impossible. As a result, the Kremlin's revenues are rapidly declining. Ukrainian President Zelensky has already emphasized that thanks to these strikes, more than 10% of Russia's total oil refining capacity nationwide has been cut, pushing entire regions of Russia toward bankruptcy. And now, the cherry on top from Reuters. The complete restoration of just one recently and severely damaged oil refinery in Tuapse on the Black Sea coast could cost the Kremlin a truly astronomical and staggering $5 billion. And considering that specialized Western machinery and parts for primary processing units are under strict international sanctions, these repairs will continue to drag on for many months, if not years. What do you think? Will the Kremlin, because of this fuel shortage, dare to raise gasoline prices for the population several times over? Or will it deplete its military reserves to the very end? Please share your detailed analysis in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more.